let me raise one more topic, which I think we need to touch upon, which is the role of the social media in this story. Because I see the expansion of very assertive forms of prejudice, which use exactly Facebook, YouTube, to spread, especially to the younger generation.
That's right.
And the people and groups who use that unfortunately, they're quite effective. Could you please comment about the social media?
The social media, when I started to work on Holocaust denial, study Holocaust denial in the late 80s, I thought I would spend 2 years studying it and that would be the end of it because it was such a ridiculous topic. Who knew it would shape my life? But that's for another conversation. If you wanted to get material denying the Holocaust in certain countries, certainly certain European countries, you had to get it sent to you to a post office box in a plain envelope, no return address. Now, if I want to do this stuff, we've seen examples all through, here we go, all over again. All you have to do is put it up on Facebook. All you have to do is tweet about it. And of course, anti-Semites, by and large, are cowards. And the people who are the trolls, or not just anti-Semitic trolls, on these social media are cowards. I can be so brave sitting in my room in my pajamas in the middle of the night saying these terrible things. But it's allowed now for the dispensation of hatred, not just anti-Semitic hatred, racist hatred, hatred against Sinti and Roma, hatred against people, Asians, Chinese Americans who are under threat often here in this country. But it allows it to proliferate in a way that we never saw before. It's a whole new ballgame.
I think the social media are a very useful vehicle also because they favor fake news, highly controversial and emotional content. And this is exactly the kind of content that anti-Semites have been using since late 19th century.
That's right.
The original modern anti-Semitism that began in Germany in the late 19th century spread out thanks to a new medium, which was the cheap press, the yellow press. So it followed the technological revolution.
That's right.
And now we have another technological revolution and a new set of ideas that are rooted in these old ones. But do you see any ways to contain it?
What I see is the need to respond, not to the idiot kind of statement, but if someone puts up facts that are simply wrong, for good people, Jews, non-Jews, doesn't matter where, Americans, Poles, Canadians, Australians, Brits, any place, to respond. I'll give you an example. A few weeks ago, when it was announced that Israel was pretty close to working on a vaccine, now, of course, many groups are, or news has come out, but Israel was one of the first places in which it was reported. A prominent actor in, I think, England, but I don't remember where she was, tweeted, Israel, vaccine? Did they have advanced knowledge? Now, I saw that someone sent me a photo shoot of it, a screenshot of it. But had I seen the actual tweet, I would have said, Israel, Oxford, Berlin, Stanford, all the different places. There are over 90 companies, I think, in the United States alone that are working on vaccines. But once all that came out, she got quiet. So I think it's very important to have to answer, not answer by saying you're an idiot. Most of these people are idiots. There's no question about it. They're haters. They're vile. But not to get into a match, a playground match. There are graphic ways you can explain it, but people can do that themselves. But to answer with facts. Now here's the difficulty. It's the last point I'll make. And it's one of the conundrums. It's why you and I are sitting here spending this time talking about it, knowing we haven't resolved the matter. But it brings us back to where I began, where we both began. Anti-Semitism is a prejudice. It prejudged. Don't confuse me with the facts I've made up my mind. A plutocrat and a communist, et cetera. It doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense. Hitler writing about the power of the Jews when he's murdered 1 out of every 3 Jews and left the whole continent practically empty of Jews. It makes absolutely no sense. But the problem is, if you begin to answer the anti-Semite with facts and say, but that's not true. What you've done is you've given him or her a certain gravitas, a certain credibility. It's a conundrum. You want to answer, so don't get into a fight with the anti-Semite. The person we're trying to reach is the people they might reach, the people who are, as I said before, tabula rasa or don't really quite understand what's going on, and to show them the absurd.